What can you learn from painting a whole day only seeing in monochrome? Hey everyone, you're watching Squidmar Miniatures. I'm Emil. And today we got incredibly both fascinating and exciting and probably a funny video too to look forward to, because I've ordered these Truedark Glasses. And these are red filter glasses originally made for people who want to sleep better. You put them on and you only see the red spectrum. It cuts out 100% of greens, yellows and blues, so it's all red. But we're gonna use them to try to paint in monochrome. Because if my theory is right, I'm only going to see red tones when I put these on, and no other colors, only hues. Painting with these will pretty much be like painting in black and white. But before we get started, I got one small update for the brush Kickstarter. And it's partly good news and partly bad. The good news is that we finally shipped the first packages in November as we promised. We got 1,500 brushes already sent out. Next Monday we'll probably send out another 700. The bad news though, the COVID rules for Sweden have increased quite a lot, which means that Andreas have been forced to pack brushes alone instead of having 3 helping hands. Which means that everything has been delayed, as we've been able to ship out stuff anyway, but not in the speed that we have been wanting to. So, if you're not getting your brushes now in November, don't worry, we're working on it. Andreas is packing as fast as he can, but be a little bit patient. Everyone will get their Kickstarter stuff and we're sending it out as fast as we can. And there's nothing we can do to speed it up further without putting people at risk, and that's not something we're willing to do just to ship out a few packages earlier. Let's continue with today's video. So we're going to start with something simple, a Hero Quest skeleton. My wife's gonna add some paints into the palette and I'm gonna paint this one without seeing any of the colors. When that is done, we're going to step it up a notch. We're going to paint a ghosty boy from Age of Sigmar. Let's see how it's gonna look when I only see light values and no colors. And if things go well, if I paint fast enough and it makes sense, we're going to step it up even another notch. We're going to paint the Duchess from Miniac models. You all know Miniac. Let's just take a quick look at the painting shelves in the back and see how they look with the glasses, because I think it's gonna be crazy. So let's just take a look at what? Okay, so the theory is right. I can literally not see a single color. There's actually one color here that kind of, to me, looks purple when I have the glasses on, and that is this one. I mean, in the camera you can't see it, but if my wife puts this on the palette, it's gonna be fun to see if I get this one right, because that's the only one where I feel like this actually looks like purple. And there's a reason why I made these in just black and not zenithal highlighted. It's because I probably wouldn't be able to tell what values are from the zenith spray and which are colors that I've painted on there. I've been really excited to start this project because I feel like there is so much for me to learn still about painting with volumes and colors, and I feel like taking the colors out of the aspect when painting can help me think about the light values and the contrasts on the miniature more than focus on the colors. At the same time, I also hope that I will find these epic color combinations that I just would never ever use if I could see the colors in front of me. Maybe highlight a super dark gray with purple. So I got really high expectations for this project, and let's see where it ends up. I'm mixing in these colors now. I have no idea what colors they are. I'm just improvising and adding values. Because like this one looks beige. This, I have no idea. It just looks like different shades of gray. Maybe this one's purple. I don't know. This is definitely looks like beige. So there's some probably yellow in there. I might be very wrong. but I'm putting on the base coat now at least, mixing in some colors to get like a decent mid-tone. And this one does look like an ivory, so I think that's gonna be my final highlight. That's the plan at least. Right now I'm just adding in shadowy mid-tones, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna take this one, it's probably a different color. God damn, everything looks purple. So I guess we'll start highlighting. Everything just looks purple. Come out. I'm really eager to see what I'm painting here. It's really cool to just see the values kind of add up to something. Like I have literally not a single clue what colors I've added, because like everything, it just looks grayscale to me right now. One thing that makes it harder is that all of the different colors, they kind of blend together, so it's harder to see if I got a full coverage of a color. Like as long as the hues are correct, like it looks correct in my eyes. So we're gonna add a bit of that to do the final highlight of the skull. And at this point, it really looked to me as though I had super smooth transitions and I had a nice contrast and light values on the volumes that just made everything pop. But as you might see, things took a different turn. Like this looks like the best skeleton I've ever done. It's so hard to see the details with this because, as I said, like all the tones, they blend together. But in my eyes, this looks smooth. So it's time for the grand reveal. Oh my god. Oh, wow. Okay, I did not expect this. Oh my god. This was kind of horrible. Wow. I did not see this coming. This was such a surprise. I gotta be honest with you, this does not look anything like I expected. Because this blue color here and this purple, like this one was a lot darker for me. And this one was brighter. As I said, I thought this one was like an ivory. I thought this one was black, yeah, but I thought this was the same color. I thought that she would just like fool me or something. This is what I have been seeing during this whole painting session. This looked good. Yeah, this not as much. Let's jump on to the next one. Okay, it's time for number 2. We'll just get started. So we got a few of these like super dark colors. I'm probably just adding another layer of black now on this and everyone sits at home laughing. Again, this looks like beige to me. Maybe it could be like pink or yellow, and this would be beige. Maybe dark brown, or is it purple? I think the hardest thing, oh crap, I just changed the color, didn't I? I started with this one, but they look the same. The colors right now is such a mess. So I'm gonna go with this on the wood part here. At this stage, I really hope that every single layer that I add is some really cool color that when I later highlight will make the base kind of look like ethereal and glowing and powerful. So I wish that my base color of the ghostly parts are something that really pops and that I then highlight it with something that's a bit paler. I feel like my eyes are finally getting used to, so I can see like the nuance difference. So I can see here, for example, I have a bit of a difference. So I'm gonna cover that up again. Still don't know like if this is black or dark blue or dark red or whatever. I started highlighting the ghost's cape
I decided to go with just one highlight color, but maybe it would have been more interesting to select a few different ones to create this really crazy highlight effect where everything has the same light values but different hues.
So far so good. I think it's looking really cool in black and white. I have no idea how the colors look, but like the volumes look amazing. Considering how poor I think this one looked in color, and I still think it looks good in black and white. And one of the important things I wanted to practice with this project was to do different light values on different parts. So the top cloak would be brighter than the bottom part of the cloak, but still have them all highlighted separately and make them pop as their own thing. I can't remember which one was the ghost. In retrospect, maybe I should have done it differently. Maybe I had a little bit too much brightness in the bottom part of the cloak and everything that's not a face on the miniature. But I still feel like I managed a little bit to do that, and I feel like now that I've done it and reanalyzed everything that I did, that I would do an even better job next time. Okay, so we got the axe left to do. I think I used this one perhaps for the axe, maybe. And highlight, yeah, let's use the closest one. Okay, I'm feeling done with this now. The final reveal. The first one was so bad. I don't want to check this. Like, to me, this looks amazing. So, let's see. Check this. Oh! Wow. Okay. Quite wrong with colors. I thought that this would be like a brown, but it's blue. This I thought would be like a black, grayish, but it's like a green blue turquoise. So I forgot to paint this part, and I kind of don't like what I did here because it's like white-ish. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that, but I really like how the skulls turned out. I really like this turquoise, and then like this green one is obviously ties together really well with this part here. So like I'm really happy with this. I'm definitely gonna try to paint the last one now. And while we're at it, painting miniatures, let me talk about this week's sponsor, One Page Rules. One Page Rules makes miniature war games, 2D and 3D miniatures. Their stuff is super accessible with all of the rules on a single page. Games that are easy to learn but still have massive amounts of depth. They're currently running 5 mainline games in fantasy and sci-fi environments. And all the games come with free core rules and army books. To support the project, they have a Patreon where they provide all the rule books and advanced rules. And on top of that, you get 15 plus new and awesome looking models every month. This month they have these awesome Egyptian style looking warriors, Tomb Kings, anyone, as well as alien hive miniatures, quite similar to Tyranids. And all of these miniatures come pre-supported. It's really a lot of bang for buck. So check out their Patreon to get some awesome games and 3D printable miniatures. And by the way, they have some really awesome Black Friday deals, currently offering 50% off on all of their previously released miniatures. You have more info in that in the video description. So we are ready to paint the last figure. This is from Miniac, his Duchess. I'm really excited about painting this one, but have never gotten to it. I think I have a new tactic with this one because the last, especially with the first one, I kind of mixed like a mid-tone, a base and everything, and ended up looking a bit weird when it's not in black and white. So I think with this one, I'm gonna do like every single part of it separately. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna see how that turned out.
With a new strategy and a new plan, I just hit the miniature with paint from the get-go, starting out by base coating the bottom part of the dress and then highlighting my way up. Having this structure made it a lot easier for me to paint, but it also kind of killed a little bit of this whole experimentation joy that I had in the beginning. But after a full day of painting, my head was kind of tired, so it was definitely a lot easier for me with this way. And going step by step, part by part, really made it easy for me to analyze the shapes and the volumes.
I'm not entirely sure on the shapes here. Around this area. It's so hard to see with the glasses on. I'm just gonna wing it. Hopefully it looks good.
The thing that was the easiest for me to paint, not seeing any form of color at all, was the metallics. It was such a joy to only have to focus on the highlights and the reflections as opposed to having to care about the colors mixing and blending together. This was really fast for me and I could paint the sword in probably less than a minute and it still looks like a reflective metal sword. If you're ever gonna try this at home, I can really recommend you to do what I did here, to break up the different surfaces and paint them one by one. But I also recommend you to do what I did with the first one, to at least try to just use the different values of light when you paint, instead of going back to your old habits of doing like one base coat and one highlight, but actually just go nuts. Because I feel like I would be able to get something super interesting and colorful and vibrant if I would have done that with this miniature.
I've been painting my whole day. I know that there's a lot of things that are unpainted here, but I'm just too tired. I have a headache from wearing these glasses all day. My eyes are trying to compensate for that. So let's do the final reveal. I've painted like an hour and a half, an hour on this. Let's see what I've done. Wait. Okay, this was okay, I guess. I'm surprised that I painted the non-metallic metals in silver. I feel like the colors don't look nearly as good on this one, partly because like there's still a lot of black in here. So I feel like the black is kind of taking over. There's a lot of gray in here. I like with the face that you've got this like dark gray going up to green. I like this, that I have like a green base coat going up to like an orange. But all in all, this was an amazing experience. I had so much fun doing this. I feel like I learned a lot too of how I want to experiment, and I'm definitely going to be using these a lot in my painting in the future. They're kind of costly. I paid 90 bucks for this. It was worth it for the video. Is it worth it for an average person to buy it to have at home? Probably not, but I'm gonna put the Amazon link in the video description anyway, so if you want to pick it up, you can do it. But I am really happy with the end result with all of these. So it was kind of a, fluke. I bought it to make a fun video, but it ended up being really helpful, giving me a few tips and techniques for when I paint for brightness and contrasts. And for me, for that, it was worth the 90 bucks for a video. So yeah, I can recommend it, but it's probably not worth, just buying if you're new into the hobby. But if you're a professional and paint for competitions and things like that, I can definitely see it being worth buying. Because yeah, it really does help in learning contrasts. I guess with that, guys, if you want to check out this week's sponsor, One Page Rules, please check the link in the video description. If you want to support this channel, there's a couple of ways you can do that. Either by checking out all of the gear that I use in my videos. I have the links on my website, squidmar.com, and in the video description. Or if you have a few dollars to spare, you can do like these now 400 amazing people that help me make sure that I can run this channel on Patreon. A few dollars really go a long way. And a massive, massive, massive thanks to all of my top Patreon supporters. Without you guys, I would not be able to do these videos, so I'm incredibly thankful for that. So guys, with that, I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.